This is Totally Disgusted with your host, Derek Andre. What's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of Totally Disgusted with me, your host, Derek Andre. I hope you have an awesome day. I am. And you remember, I always say, if you're not having a great day, you have the power to change that. And I suggest you do so. All right, y'all, on today's episode, I'd like to address something that it doesn't necessarily impact me as much because I'm married and I've been married for 12 years. But there are a lot of single people out there that I think this has a very large impact on. And that is dating. Finding inexpensive dates. Cheap dates, man. Where are cheap dates nowadays? What happened to cheap dates? And I'm not necessarily talking about, people that they get older in age. I'm talking about like younger couples, young people trying to go out on dates and stuff like that. What happened to cheap dates? Why don't they exist anymore? So I'm from St. Louis. And I'm a date myself here, and I'm gonna go back several years. Now I know this is completely out of reach. I'm going out on a limb here and talking about some stuff that ain't gonna never happen again, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. So back in the day when I was in my late teens, 19, early 20s, stuff like that, used to be able to go to the movies. Now you got to remember, this is like the late 80s, early 90s, all right? Used to be able to go to the movies for like $5. You know what I'm saying? You'd be able to go to like a $5 movie. You get some popcorn. Popcorn was like maybe $2, $3 or something like that. Get you some candy, soda. You can do the whole movie thing with a date for maybe $20. All right, $20. And we also used to have a theater in St. Louis called Village Square. And anybody that knows St. Louis and is in my age demographic remembers Village Square. That was a $1 movie theater. All right, it was out in Hazelwood. And man, you could go to the movies, and it would be like not like old movies. It would be relatively new movies. Like if like a movie had just left the main theaters, it would end up at Village Square, and you could go see the movie for $1. So I'm talking like a for real, straight up cheap date. We also have things in St. Louis, man, like the art museums are all free. The zoo is free. Once you get in the zoo, if there's like an attraction or something that you want to see, then yeah, you might have to pay for that. But just to actually go in the zoo and look at animals costs absolutely nothing. It's totally free. All right. So, you had the botanical garden, which was not necessarily free, but it was so cheap, especially if you lived in the city. If you lived in the city, you could go to the botanical garden, I think, for like $2 or $3. I think if you lived outside the city, it might have been $5. So we had like really, really cool, inexpensive places to take somebody for a first date. All right, you get your boo thing, y'all get together, man. Most people either had a car, had access to a car. Gas back then too. Gas was cheap. Gas was like maybe $1.01 or $1.03. I think I looked it up from like early 90s. I think gas was like maybe 98 cents for regular, maybe $1 for regular. So it was like stupid cheap to go out on a date. Man, nowadays, just a single admission to the movies. Just a single admission to the movies. For just a regular movie. Not even an IMAX or a 3D movie. Just a regular admission for a movie is $15. $15, man. $15. Don't want no food in there. Don't think you're going in there and getting you some nachos. Nachos is like $10 now. Popcorn, $8 for the small thing of popcorn. Drinks, $7.50. A bottle of water is like $7.50 at the movies, man. Come on, man. Where are the cheap dates, okay? And so somebody gonna be watching this, probably a young lady gonna be watching this, talking about, we ain't take me on a cheap date. Listen, and I'm speaking for all the young men out there and the ladies, because all ladies ain't like this, but there's some of y'all out here. I see them posts on Instagram and stuff like that where y'all got a list of places where can't nobody take you on a date. Man, shut your ass up. Listen, you should not have to spend $250 on a date with somebody to realize you don't like their ass. You shouldn't have to do that, man. You should not have to spend $200, because think about it. By the time you buy movie tickets, by the time, if y'all go to the movies, by the time y'all buy movie tickets, if you go to a play, the average seat for a play is goddamn $50. Okay? If you go to a play, if you go to dinner, average dinner cost gonna be $100. You know, gas is $4 a gallon. So you should not, nobody should have to spend $250 to try to figure out whether they really like somebody or not. That is so unfair. It's unfair to the guy who has to pay for it. And I'm advocating for single men right now. I'm advocating for y'all, man. And it's gonna be some ladies that watch this. They be talking about, well, I'm worth it. How you know you worth it? How does he know you worth it? If this y'all first date, how does he know you worth it? Telephone conversations is only half the battle. It ain't even half the battle. It's just a fraction of it. Because you can be whoever you want to be on the other side of a telephone, or through text messages, or through DMs on Instagram. You can be all kind of people. But when you in person, that's when it really matters. And should nobody have to spend $250, $150, $180, $300 on a person only to realize that they ain't what they thought they was. That it ain't gonna work. That ain't right, man. That ain't right. I am going to advocate for cheap dates again. There needs to be, maybe I should open a movie theater. There needs to be a movie theater and places that you could go. If you try to take a female to the botanical garden, I live in Georgia now, in Atlanta, Georgia. If you try to take a female to the botanical garden, it is like a $25 cover charge. The zoo, $25. The aquarium, $48 a person. Come on, man. Come on, man. Where are the cheap dates? How do you truly get to know a person and not have to go crazy spending to do so? You know, I don't even know if girls like walks in the park no more. I don't even know. I've been married for so long. I don't know if young ladies, if you're watching this video and you know, do you like walks in the park? Then put it in the comments. Let me know. I don't even know if that's a thing no more, man. But what I do know is there has to be a way for you to get to know somebody without it costing a small fortune. You know, I'm not a huge proponent of splitting the bill. If a guy is taking you out, then yeah, I think that he should go ahead and foot the bill. Okay, whatever it is. If y'all going to dinner, he should pay for dinner. If y'all going to the movies, he should pay for the movies. If whatever it is that y'all going to do, I feel like the guy should foot the bill. Okay, I'm old fashioned like that. You know, there are some young ladies out there that would happily split the check, you know, whatever. But I don't think you should have to. I really do think that when y'all go on a date, I feel like the guy should have to pay for the date. And I'm 100% on that. But at the same time, I don't feel like the date should cost him $250, man. And I keep throwing that figure out there because if you really do the math, that's about what the average date rounds up to. It rounds up to about $250 on a first date. A first date, not a third date, not a sixth date, a first date. That means I don't know shit about you for real. I'm still trying to learn your ass. So if the first date is in, do I pop for a second date? Because if I pop for a second date, I spent $500 on your ass and I still ain't 100% sure if it's going to work or not. So y'all let me know in the comments, man. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think. All right, I'm gonna put my poll question up like I always do. Let me know what you think. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, just leave it in the comments. If you're listening to it as a podcast, just leave it in the comments. But let me know what you think. Should cheap dates be a thing again? And if so, give me a list of places that you could think of that you could go on a cheap date. And ladies, stop being so doggone difficult when it comes to this. Ain't nobody saying that if we go on an inexpensive date, the first time that you're not worth the $250, the $500, the trip to Bahamas and all. Ain't nobody saying you're not worth that. But should nobody have to spend that much money on a first date to figure out whether or not they gonna truly like your ass? All right. All right, so let me know in the comments, y'all. Let's talk about this. Let's chop it up. Let me know how you feel about cheap first dates, and if you know some places in your city, tell me where you from and some good places for cheap first dates. In case somebody watching this, maybe they live in your city, maybe you helping them out. All right, but let me know how y'all feel about that, because I'm standing on this, man. I feel like dates have gotten too doggone expensive. All right. So thanks again for tuning in. All right. This is Totally Disgusted. I'm your host, Derek Andre. Don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment, thumbs up, like, give it a share. If you're listening to it, share it with your friends. Get into the conversation. I'm building this thing, man. Right now, I'm just using some loose topics. Eventually, we're going to talk about some stuff that has some more substance. But right now, I'm just having fun, all right? I just want to have fun because there's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world right now, and I don't always want to talk about that, all right? So y'all have a good day. Be peace, be love, be one. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll holler at you on the next episode, all right? All right. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to Totally Disgusted. Make sure to like, comment, and tell a friend.